This woman is an activist. When you vote for Greens, you're voting for an activist. Just like Lydia Thorpe. Lydia Thorpe was representing Aboriginal people, and she's an activist. Secondly, this woman here wasn't born in Australia. No taxes, her family never paid taxes, nothing. She came over here in her 20s, and then she ended up getting a seat at the table at the highest level. Don't tell me about what Donald Trump is doing. It's a democratic society where the American people, a shitload of them, voted for him. And if people can't do their jobs, then rightly so, they should be called out and they should be removed from their positions. This token bullshit needs to stop. This whole idea that people have to have jobs because of their disability, their cultural background, or they're immigrants or whatever, is bullshit. It's about doing the job, doing it properly and doing it successfully. So people aren't standing in line a whole day just to get something done. It's about merits. That's how the world works. It's about merits. If you can do the job, I want you to work for me. I don't want someone who's going to be sitting around doing nothing or giving out misinformation that's not related to the job, or get me fired, or send my company broke. Seriously, this whole privileged behaviour is what's sending this country and every other country around the world into chaos. No one owes anyone nothing. It's about doing the job and doing it with merits. It's funny, this is a woman from Pakistan who wouldn't have the same privileges or rights as she has right here in Australia, complaining yet again about a president that was elected by a huge majority of the people in America. Otherwise he wouldn't be president. As for the climate change, what a fucking joke that is. There's nothing good about climate change. There's about our environment, absolutely, we should look after it. But climate change, well, that's a hoax in itself, just like COVID, right? How we're all duped into going into COVID and listening to our governments. Well, facts have come out that it was a lie. So I wish people like her will put things into context, and if someone has a disability and can't do the job, then they shouldn't be in the role. It's not about ticking boxes. Like I said, the Greens Party. Greens Party is nothing more than a rally against Australians. They're not interested in the Australian people. They're interested in getting activists like her and Lydia Thorpe to sit in Parliament and dictate to us what's right and what's wrong.
The election of Donald Trump last year struck fear in the hearts of millions in the US and across the world, particularly people of color, women, LGBTQIA plus people, disabled people, and those who care about our climate. And this fear was justified. On just his first day in office, he exited the US from the Paris Climate Treaty, repealed measures that support racial equity and that address discrimination against trans and intersex people, issued orders to increase deportations, expanded the death penalty, removed sanctions on violent Israeli settlers, and so much more. Every one of these actions is catastrophic. This is a man who is deeply unfit for any public office, let alone the most powerful one. This is a man who belongs not in the Oval Office, but behind bars. For Trump, every tragedy is turned into a new front in a culture war. Every calamity is an opportunity to play politics and attack marginalized communities. We saw that with his despicable response to the recent plane crash in Washington, which he baselessly blamed on the Federal Aviation Administration's diversity push and hiring of air traffic controllers with disability. How utterly contemptible to attack a community that is already underrepresented in the workforce and discriminated against. Trump's actions have legitimized and emboldened racist, ableist, homophobic filth everywhere. immigrants, trans people, and other minorities are less safe since Trump came to power. We must do everything we can to keep Trumpian hate, science denial, and billionaire-loving politics out of this country. The most urgent task in that regard is keeping Dutton's mini-Trump liberals out at this election. Disturbingly, Dutton has already started mirroring the culture warfare with his recent attacks on the public services, culture, diversity, and inclusion workforce. Another urgent task is to fearlessly call out Trump's dangerous agenda. But so far, only the Greens have had the courage to do that in here. The Albanese government must stand up to the US empire, rip up the cooked AUKUS deal, and condemn Trump's policies in the harshest terms possible. That's what needs to be done.